Check this out. Most people book a cruise thinking they found the deal of the year, and then somehow, by the end of the trip, they've spent hundreds more than they actually planned. And it's not because cruising is impossible to do on a budget, it's because cruise lines are experts at making all the extra costs feel small in the moment, until they stack up fast. So today I'm breaking down the smartest cruise line hacks to save you guys hundreds on cabins, dining, excursions, and the hidden onboard costs most tourists never see. And stay till the end, because the final cruise recommendation for 2026 is one of the easiest to save the most money of all. And by the way, if you guys want more budget travel guides, cruise deals, as well as insider vacation strategies, hit subscribe below to the Castaway Travelers, because we post travel tips every week that actually save you money. So let's start off with the first place cruise budgets either stay affordable or quietly explode. And that's going to be your cabin. A lot of people assume every room is basically the same, but choosing the right cabin is one of the biggest cruise affordability hacks there is. This is about booking the right cabin location, the right time of the year, and the right deal structure so you don't overpay and end up upgrading later. Because the wrong cabin can mean more sleep, more motion sickness, and unnecessary spending before your vacation even kicks off. So let's dive into the cabin booking hacks that actually work. One of the best cruise travel tips is going to be booking midship on a lower deck, because it's the most stable part of the ship and it actually helps reduce seasickness. Another smart hack is choosing a guaranteed cabin, where you book the category and the cruise line assigns the exact room later. Sometimes you'll end up getting a free upgrade simply because they needed to balance the inventory. And if you want the best cruise prices for 2026, wave season is the key window. And that's going to be right now. That's typically January through March every year, when the cruise lines run their biggest promotions. I covered this in my last video, so make sure you check that out. So for a real cruise line deal example, Royal Caribbean often runs major promotions like discounted fares plus bundled savings. Norwegian is known for their free at sea packages, which can include your drinks, your dining, your Wi-Fi, as well as your excursion credit. And Celebrity tends to include more premium perks on select sailings. And basically the cabin decision is where smart cruisers end up saving money and rookie cruisers accidentally pay for their regrets. So now let's move on to the dining hacks that are going to keep you full without overspending. Let's talk about food, because the cruise dining is one of the best parts of the entire trip. But it's also one of the easiest places to overspend without realizing it. So this is about knowing what's already included, when specialty dining is worth it, and how to avoid inflated onboard pricing. Because cruising is already one of the most food-inclusive vacations you can take, as long as you don't upgrade every single meal out of impulse. So in terms of smart dining strategies, your main dining room and buffet are included, and you can get full multi-course meals without spending extra. Specialty dining is often the cheapest on embarkation night, because cruise lines often discount it immediately to draw you in, as well as fill those reservations. And breakfast room service is sometimes free or low cost, which is honestly the best way to avoid the morning buffet traffic jam. So now let's cover the snack and the drink rules. Here's a cruise hack that most people actually don't realize. Most cruise lines allow you to bring a small amount of snacks and drinks on board, and this alone can save you more than you'd think. Factory sealed dry snacks like granola bars, chips, nuts, and candy are usually allowed. Many cruise lines also allow a limited amount of non-alcoholic drinks, often around 12 cans per person. And hard liquor is almost always prohibited on board. They're trying to get you to buy the good stuff. Wine rules vary on board, but many cruise lines allow one bottle per adult on embarkation day. And this matters because paying onboard prices for basic snacks is how cruise budgets quietly disappear. So quick question, guys. What's the biggest cruise cost you want to cut down on first? Cabins, food, or excursions? Drop it in the comments below, because I read and respond to every single one. So now let's cover the average price for a 7-day cruise in 2026. To set those expectations, the average 7-day Caribbean cruise in 2026 usually runs around $800 to $1,500 per person, depending on the season, the cabin type, as well as the cruise line. And if you want a more all-inclusive feel, Norwegian free at sea bundles are some of the most popular, and Royal Caribbean and Celebrity also offer strong package deals when booked correctly. So now let's jump into the biggest money trap on any cruise, and that's going to be the shore excursions. This is about finding authentic port experiences without paying a cruise line markup for the same exact activity. Because you guys didn't travel all this way just to overpay for a bus ride as well as a souvenir shop stop. So as an example, local snorkeling operators might end up charging $30 to $80 per person, while ship excursions can easily cost $120 or more for the same exact water and the same exact beach. And for example, in ports like Cozumel or St. Thomas, public water taxis are often the cheapest and the most scenic way to reach the beaches as well as the attractions. And morning excursions tend to be the best, because you'll get the cooler temperatures, fewer crowds, and the better photo lighting. And some of the best cruise days overall come from finding quieter beaches that locals recommend, small restaurants a few blocks away from the tourist crowds, or snorkel coves that don't even show up on the ship excursion map. And please, don't be that guy asking every cruise member
permission to come aboard
every time while dropping nautical vocabulary every hour like you're hosting your own pirate documentary. The ship's crew will appreciate the enthusiasm, but subtlety wins in this one. So now let's move on to the extras that add up. Cruises look cheap up front, until the extras start stacking up. This is all about avoiding the overpriced add-ons like drinks, Wi-Fi, photos, and spot charges by planning ahead, because these hidden costs are exactly where the cruise budgets sink. So some smart extras hacks is that the drink packages are almost always cheaper if you buy them before you sail. Wi-Fi is the same way. Pre-book it because onboard pricing is going to be higher. And that cruise Wi-Fi used to be slower than a confused seagull, but now it's actually fast enough to upload your photos before you even finish your trip. And now let's cover the comfort and the safety tips. For avoiding seasickness, book the midship cabins. Bring ginger chews or motion bands, or the little patches behind your ear. And also stay hydrated. You'll be surprised how dehydrated you can actually get sitting up on the deck at sea all day long. And to avoid the sunburn, reapply sunscreen every 2 to 3 hours because ocean sun hits harder than people expect. And look, sometimes unfortunate things end up happening on board, but it makes for a good story. Someone forgets sunscreen, someone misses the ship. You know what they say, ship happens. So now let's cover a huge hack. If you're military, a teacher, or a first responder, listen closely, because this is one of the best cruise deals out there. Margaritaville at Sea runs a Hero Sail Free program, where eligible military members, teachers, and first responders can sail with the base cruise fare covered on select sailings. This is usually available on specific weekday departures, commonly Sunday through Thursday, with taxes and fees still applying. That's a huge budget win, especially for those shorter Bahamas cruises. So now let's cover staying fit and healthy while you're still cruising. One of the most underrated cruise hacks is staying healthy while you're on board so you actually feel good for the duration of the trip. Most ships have full gyms included, morning fitness classes like yoga or spin, as well as outdoor walking tracks with ocean views. And honestly, just taking the stairs instead of waiting for the elevators is the easiest way to stay active while counting your steps. And cruising doesn't have to mean abandoning your routine. It just means upgrading that scenery. So now let's cover the best cruise line value recommendation for 2026. If you guys want the best combination of price, itineraries, as well as consistent promotions for 2026, Royal Caribbean is going to be one of your strongest values. They offer major wave season discounts, excellent bundle pricing, and some of the best Caribbean private island stops. And if you guys haven't watched it yet, my previous video on the best cruise deals for 2026 breaks down exactly which sailings are the cheapest right now. That's the perfect next watch to start that binge session. And if you guys use these cruise hacks, you'll save money, avoid rookie mistakes, and cruise like someone who actually knows what they're doing. And if you want to keep planning smarter, go ahead and watch my full guide on the best cruise deals of 2026 next, because it pairs perfectly with this video and it'll help you book the cheapest sailing possible. Cruising doesn't need to be expensive. It just has to be smart. And remember, ship happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep traveling.